Noella, here we are at the Global Creative Leadership Summit, and you're from Congo, which is a country we all know has a lot of problems. But how bad are the problems now?
I think we have a few points that's very bad. I think we have an economically problems, we have politically problem, we have the country on its whole, regional problems, and we have the biggest crisis humanitarian in Congo. 5.5 million died over 12 years of war, and 45 people die every month in Congo, and more than 400 rapes on women every month. So it's still very, very high numbers.
And what about the economy? How bad are people getting jobs now?
But the unemployment is very high, and people don't earn a very good salary, so they can hardly afford anything. Congo is a very, very expensive country. You're rich or you're poor, and everything, when I go there, I spend more money in Congo than I spend in New York, because you want everything, every product, a lot of products are imported. And the problem is a lot of foreigners company using their own people. So there's not impact in the local, in the national economy over there. So I think we need to create that.
And the local people don't get the benefit of all their natural resources being mined and so forth? Most
of the resources are living illegally in the country. So there's absolutely hardly no benefit for the country, no benefit for the population, no benefit in anything. So that's very thing that we need to, I think the next few years in the challenges of Congo is how to bring and to work with investors in a more transparency level and in a more legal way, and more working together and find solution and find a way that the population can really have a benefit of this amazing country that's one of the most richest country in terms of resources. And that's not the case now. And we hope in the next few years, and with all the attention that Congo has, like Hillary Clinton was there a few weeks ago, and she had a lot of talks with everybody, with students, with healthcare people, with the leaders. And the most key important thing is we need justice. All these women that are being raped, and children, and now children that are born of rape are the ones becoming rape. But there's no justice. So that's a very key important. When you will have the justice coming up, when you will have it, will bring back a stability.
And do you think the government is to blame for much of this?
If the government is to blame, I don't think so. I think everybody has to work together. At this point, the situation in Congo is arriving at a certain level of... it's arriving at a point that we need to find a solution. I think we shouldn't blame the government. I think we should all work together. How to make this country moving forward. Private people, individuals, teachers, leaders, people from abroad. It has to be, we cannot afford to criticize each other, because the country needs, the population needs a new breath, a new hope, and it's only by working together with even foreigners company and with the leadership that is over there.
Now, you've been successful outside Congo and have decided to give back to your country. What are you actually doing, and why have you decided to do that, and how are you getting on? Because
I didn't grow up in Congo. I went back 13 years later. When I left at 5 years old, and I went back 13 years later. And when I went there, I said, this is my country. I can walk everywhere in the world, but to make a real impact and a real difference is where I'm from, where my mother lives, where my brothers and sisters are. So for me, seeing all these problems, I think education is key in every third world countries, because you will educate a child, you will educate a girl that will become a woman and will have a place in the society. And I believe more in women. I think women... Why I believe in women? Because I don't think so we give enough room to women. They don't have a voice. They are most of the time ignored. Today at the forum, at the round table, I was the only woman, and I guess the youngest. So for me, it's the investment has to be in educated. And when people will have a strong education, they will know what they want for their country. They will fight for their belief, and they will fight for what they want.
And so you've established a school or several schools? Or?
I set up my foundation in New York. We all volunteer. We all working on a volunteer time basic. And we're going to build a school in a village in Kalibuka. It's 30 minutes from Lubumbashi. And it's in the province of Katanga. And it's the real example. Katanga is one of the richest parts of Congo, of mining, and the population living under poverty. You're going out of 30 minutes, 45 minutes of Lubumbashi, and you will see people living without electricity, without water. The school are in very bad conditions. So how to bring a balance in this province in this province and in the whole country?
So what's the biggest challenge you face as you try and build the school, and what do you think can be done about it?
I'm extremely lucky because the fact of being a Congolese person, I have a huge support on the ground from every aspect. So we didn't really have challenge. What is the challenge is transportation. Transportation is not easy to send things in Congo, to send goods. We have challenges of the price because, for instance, to build a school, they're talking about $600 the square meter, between $600 to $1,300 the square meter to build a school, to build a bâtiment. There's a complete inflation because so many multinational foreigners living in Congo. So there's no reality. You're putting this kind of price of building things, but the other side, there's a completely misery and poverty. So how to put a balance? But I want to say that I believe in a young generation. I believe that the diaspora has to go back to give their knowledge, even if they don't go back, but at least to contribute to something, to a project on the ground. I have to bring more, how do you say that? More, not knowledge. Okay, we can move on the next one. The diaspora and the youth has to have more say in what's happening in Africa, politically, economically, and socially. And the young generation will have more parts of what is happening there. Because if we're all staying far from our continent, they are the ones that living over there will take decisions. But Africa is, everybody has the eye in Africa, but we completely forget what is Africa. There's a continent with spirit, with culture, with music, with so many great aspects, and we need to develop, I think, the tourism. We need to develop the agricultural aspect. We need to bring more technology. The infrastructure has to be more stronger, transportation, internet aspect. And I think when we will move forward, we will talk about another Africa.
One last question. What idea has most interested you that you've heard here at the Global Creative Leadership Summit? That
a non-profit has to work more together. I think this is a very key thing. Everyone is very individualist. And I think when people will work more together, more partnership will be created, it will save time, it will save money, and it will really benefit the causes on the ground.
Great, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.